What's going on, folks? Thanks for joining me on another episode of Duck Gun Chronicles. I am Jordan Fromer, your host and guide for this waterfowl season. And on today's video, I'm going to be doing what every duck hunting YouTuber does. And I'm going to be doing a what's in your blind bag video. So, that's what we're going to be going over in today's video. But before we jump into that, guys, if you are new here, hit that sub button. We got tons of content coming at you all season long, the main gig of this channel. And it's my passion to put out all my hunts from beginning of September all the way through the end of February. I'm going to be putting out a ton of hunting video content. Also, guys, if you are interested in listening to the audio form duck hunting podcast, my podcast is the Duck Gun Podcast, and you don't want to miss it. Alrighty, guys, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. So, like I said, guys, we're going to be going over what's in my blind bag in no particular order. I just made a list of all the things that I keep in my blind bag. We talked about it in a few videos ago. My 5 preseason fell videos. And the last tip I had on there was getting your blind bag all the way prepped. And here we are going into this weekend. And I know for a lot of people across the country, this is when your preseason starts. This is when your early season starts for teal, for goose. You name it, it's going to be awesome. So I went ahead and I started getting my blind bag ready, getting everything packed away because I have an awesome hunting trip coming up this weekend. So let's go ahead and go through the blind bag. So just a little side note, I won't be using this blind bag. I used to use blind bags like this, but the longer I hunt, the more gear I get, and it just doesn't fit. The second side note is I know that 99.9% of you guys don't do YouTube duck hunting, filming, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm leaving the filming stuff out. Just know I do bring filming stuff on my hunts, but I know it doesn't pertain to most of you. So, next thing I got, and it's probably the coolest thing in my blind bag, is my hatchet. So, for making blinds, cutting down brush, it's not always about what's most efficient. It's about what's coolest, and I love me a good hatchet. Alrighty. Now this is all about efficiency. So the next thing I got in my blind bag is the good old baby wipes. And if you've ever been out in the woods and you had to use anything besides baby wipes, and I know I have, then, nothing's quite as efficient or comforting as having some baby wipes in your blind bag when nature starts calling. Alrighty, folks. It almost goes without saying, but everybody who hunts waterfowl, you need ammo. So I keep ammo in my blind bag, believe it or not. Wow, what a surprise. Alrighty, so this is great for all your water hunts. I keep a couple in there because every once in a while you might break one, you might lose one, you might drop one, you might get it tangled up with a dog. I'm all about having extras, as you'll find out with the blind bag series here, but I keep my jerk rig for the motion duck decoy spreader system. I keep 2 of them in the blind bag. Alrighty, guys, here is the choke tube box that came with my Browning A5 Wicked Wings. I got in there, I got the stuff for my 20 gauge, both my 12 gauges, all right there, good to go, in the old choke tube box. So definitely keep your chokes in your blind bag. Alrighty, fellas, the next thing I keep in my blind bag is my call lanyard. The only thing I don't have on there that I'm going to add is I got an open slot right here for the dog training whistle. And actually downsized from last year on the lanyard just because I needed less stuff on there. The other thing is I always kept an extra duck call or goose call on the lanyard, but I decided to not do that because the extra one's good if you have something locking up, and if you walk too deep in the water, all of them go in, get the seaweed, the grime in there, and then they start locking up. So I keep my extras in the blind bag now instead of on the old lanyard. And the other thing on there, pretty cool, got the finisher with the old duck band on there, goose bands on there from last season. You guys remember those videos. Alrighty, so the next thing I got is a good old game strap. This is the HTR game strap that straps on, it clips onto the gun stand, so I keep one of those in my blind bag. Even if you're not going to be using the game strap, or even if you're on a hunt where you're not using the gun stand, this is perfect to have for your ducks. Not so much for geese. If you put geese on a game strap, you're probably more of a man than me because they're freaking heavy once you get a few of them on there. Alrighty, fellas, so the next thing I got is the good old headlamp. If you don't have a solid one, I used to use like little cheapy ones from Lowe's or whatever. Get on Amazon, buy yourself a sweet one, heavy duty, rechargeable, They only cost about $30. This went through a lot of wear and tear this season. It's busted all up, but it still freaking works. So there's some solid ones out there. Definitely upgrade your game on a headlamp. You won't be disappointed. Early season, this only lasts in there for the first couple months, but I definitely use a thermocell during like early teal, early goose, along with some bug spray. It'll save yourself a lot of pain and suffering if you get bit by mosquitoes. Alright, so next thing I got on there is have yourself some good gloves. Here's some more heavy duty, kind of late season gloves. I keep a lot of gloves. Even if they're not in your blind bag, keep a lot of gloves. And the other one is, these are my hay baling gloves. Yes, I do bale some hay every once in a while. But we actually had an incident a couple years back where Hunter was pulling out some brush to brush up the A-frame, and he cut his hand super bad. Almost bad enough that it could have ended the hunt for him. So you want to have something that's protecting your hands, especially if you're pulling out a lot of weeds and brush. Sometimes you're going to grab onto something, slip your hand through it, and, well, you know, it can be bad. So next thing I got here is, and this is going to be like just a little bit of extra. So like I said, I keep some extra calls in the blind bag, keep an extra finisher in the blind bag, and then I keep a backup battery charger in the blind bag. That way you always have charge, whether it's for your headset, you know, whether it's for your phone, whatever. There's a lot of things you need charge, especially if you're going on all-day hunts or for over-the-weekend hunts. This thing definitely comes in clutch. Alrighty guys, next thing I got, keep in my blind bag, I keep myself a couple duck gun hats and a Flyways collective hat. If you don't keep those in your blind bag, then you're definitely in danger of not shooting a limit, and I definitely don't want that to happen, so I definitely keep my duck gun and Flyways collective hats in my blind bag for every hunt. So obviously that's a joke, but I did want to point out, guys, I do have some of these. This is actually my last can for the duck gun hat, and I have, I think, 3 or 4 left of these in the green with the duck gun leather patch. They all come with, or these come with a Oak Nuts decal, and then also, guys, hot off the press, all the Flyways guys, we are bringing you guys the first edition of the Flyways collective hat, and they're going hot. So definitely check those out as well. Everything can be found on the Flyways Collective website, flywayscollective.com. So definitely check that out. All right, so next thing I got on there is gun oil. If you got anybody who's having cycling issues, if you're having cycling issues, this can really save your butt anytime. Just get a little bottle of this. I've had this thing for about 3 or 4 years, and it's almost gone now. So you definitely want one of those. Alrighty guys, again, going to the cool factor, I got some Hardy's face paint. It's actually my favorite face paint of any face paint just because of how easy it comes off. And it just looks solid, the solid black. Whereas some of that's just, I don't know, it's like creamy or something. But this is where it's at for face paint. If you haven't tried Hardy's face paint, definitely check them out. Alrighty, so another good thing to have in your blind bag, and I just always have one of these. You never know when you might need to fix something or cut something, or, I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with a multi-tool. So having one of these can save you, save your trouble when anything comes up. It's just a really good tool to have. The other thing is I always keep a knife, and definitely a sharp knife. You know what they say, a dull knife is way more dangerous than a sharp knife, because a sharp knife, you're just going to cut right through it. Dull knife, you're going to put a lot of pressure, it's going to slip, and then you're going to gouge it into your hand or your leg or whatever. So keep yourself a sharp knife in the old blind bag. And then finally, the last thing I got, and I don't really have anything packed yet, but I always keep some Gatorade, probably some Diet Dew, and snacks. I'm a big breakfast in the blind guy, so again, I'll probably leave room in my blind bag for that as well. But yeah, that pretty much covers it, guys. I got all the stuff around, and I've got it going into the blind bag because, like I said, I'm going out this weekend. So stay tuned, guys. We're going to be doing the early season Michigan tour again, and that's going to lead right into chasing the opener tour coming at you guys, and I'm so freaking pumped. So anyways, guys, that's all I have for today's video. Stay tuned, guys. It's going to be a freaking awesome season. I'm Jordan, Duck Hunting Chronicles. We'll see you on the next one. Let's go.